Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. The one is the apostles and elders of great most honorable one. Shalom to all the brothers in the work of Syrian truth. Um, got this article on MSN by way of Bloomberg. It says what? Non-yabbed, prepared to pay as governments ready crackdowns. And yeah, you've had it pick up, and over here in Europe, it's been spreading through basically because of as it's gone into winter, cases are shooting up. Something is like Germany, Norway, Italy as well, I believe. There's a few of late, but it goes into it in an article. So this is what as the latest C-19 wave flares up, countries are starting to take a tougher stance toward those who haven't been yabbed. For sending those without shots into lockdown, to forcing them to pay their own medical bills. Here are some of the steps being taken to try to encourage more people to take it. So it says what? Lockdown in Austria, the country with one of the lowest inoculation rates in Western Europe, may soon announce a nationwide lockdown for the unyabbed or those that haven't recently recovered from the illness, according to Chancellor Alexander Schallenberg. The hardest hit province of Upper Austria, located between German and Czech borders, plans to implement the measures starting Monday. Under the new rules, those who haven't had yabs would only be allowed to leave for work and to buy essential goods. So yeah, it's like going back into lockdown, and as you saw from previous lockdown, that people were all jacked up, man. People barely enjoyed that shit, man. They hardly made it through. Like people were ready to to give up swiftly. So if that's a threat on the table, they're gonna it's gonna be game over. So medical bills in Singapore. It says what in Singapore, those who choose not to get the yabs will now have to pay for their own medical bills if they get C. Patients who receive therapeutics and stay in intensive care units may have to pay about 25,000 Singaporean dollars, which is $18,000, according to a median estimate released by the health ministry. So yeah, it's like America. Get to pay for oh no, well, I'm assuming it's only if you go into intensive care. But it's basically and that's the thing is, you go down the list, it's only a few countries that have kind of pulled off things like this. But just like with everything else that's come through the C-19, it's everything else has slowly been spread out, man. It's slowly been expanded upon, and it starts off in one place, then spreads to everywhere, man. Released by that. So, cash in Lithuania. Many countries in Europe require YAB certs to enter bars and restaurants, but Lithuania has gone one step further. Citizens over 16 must provide immunity certificates to enter any restaurant or cafe, shopping malls, cinemas, beauty salons, or any other public indoor premises or events. The rule will be tightened further from the end of December and will apply to everyone over 12 years. The government also plans to start paying €100 to people over age 75 who get the yabs. between September the 1st and November 30th, or who get a booster jab before March 31st. Yeah. Funny as hell. So yeah, just chucking money. And the the scale it's kind of hilarious because like yeah, this thing has been scaled to an immense degree. People are rock with it, man. People are rock with it. Mandating US. Joe Biden's administration issued an emergency rule forcing large private employers to require YABs or regular testing. The Labor Department said the mandate would apply to companies with 100 or more employees and set a January 4th deadline. Failure to comply could trigger fines of as much as $136,000. About 5% of UNYAB workers left their jobs when their employers imposed a mandate, according to an October survey from the Kaiser Family Foundation. Yeah, I think there's been more. The nah, I didn't open it. Oh no, I did. So apparently that mandate got Roundhouse kicked out of court and the Court of Appeals. But I think, well, they said what? It blocked them from enforcing it until the court decides whether to grant a permanent injunction. So, it sounds like there's issues, but like man said, that's January. There's like a month and a half to go till it needs to be enforced. I'm expecting to see that shit go through smooth anyhow. Says is what many public agencies required the employees get YABs or face dismissal. Oh, in Estonia firings. 50 unyabbed employees of the police and border guard agency are suing the agency over this policy, and on Thursday, a court granted them temporary relief pending further review of the policy. Estonia also requires passports at public venues such as restaurants or gyms. Negative tests are no longer accepted. Yeah. And then forced leave in the Ukraine. That's funny. Forced leave in Ukraine, teachers and government officials who aren't fully yabbed have been sent on unpaid leave from earlier this week. Restaurants, shopping malls, and fitness centers are allowed to operate only if 100% of the staff got yabs. Wait, fitness centers. Okay. Oh wait, no. All of them. Restaurants, shopping malls, and fitness centers. Public transport is only... Yeah, and public transport as well. Fucking hell. The men have been going in. But yeah, that's the thing. And it's mainly, other than like the US and Singapore, it's mainly in and around Europe. And especially because, of how Europe works, they could just vote and be like, okay, we're going to get one policy for the whole block. And it's like last time they did that, it was so that they could have open borders back to have people traveling around. So, depending when it scales up, they might just be like, okay, we're going to enforce, one standard of everyone having to use a passport. Saying like, oh yeah, to keep transport open, crossing borders open, and then that's it spreads, gets standardized, and then it becomes just a thing, which is really that's what it's moving towards. It's moving towards this just being another thing that's done, and that's really what that's that new normal term where it comes from, because it's just like everyone going along, complying without any form of thought being applied to it. Because as far as for them, that's just, what's done. So Matthew 24, and 9, and it says what? And then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Yeah. So as far as for, what the men of the Lord are looking to go into, they're looking to go into receiving the same as Yahushua received, being, despised, being hated of everyone round about. And especially all the heathen, because we're teaching what the stead that we're coming in instead of Yahushua, and all that he taught, and that's nothing but bad news for the heathen, for the people out here. They love this place. They want it to go on. They ain't looking to hear, they ain't looking to hear shit. And that's really what, why it's such a burden, man, such a hurdle for them. Because, okay. Let me read on a bit. Well, yeah, okay. Well, that's the thing, is like all these, these mandates, all these systems are implementing, and they're leading towards the mark, leading towards Charagma, the MOTV. And then, as such, since they're doing that, that's why it's, for a man of the Lord, you can't comply. If you have faith in the scripture, you have faith in Yahushua, you believe what the Bible says, then you're going to be like, nah, you ain't going to be messing with any of it. As such, all these systems, then become sticks, to beat, the men of the Lord, man. Men that are enduring onto the end, man. Having faith that Yahushua is going to make his return. So this is what, and verse 10, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. Yeah? So the conflict. Everyone's all upset with everyone else. And that's the funny thing, is these, these plans, these elites are bringing in, the things that they're doing, you're getting that big backlash from those of Esau's own ilk. They're also getting upset. They're having a backlash. They're taking issue with what's being pushed on them, and that's why people are getting in swingers in the streets over this. It's on that scale already, and that's the thing. Is more's gonna come, and you're gonna have people entrenched in, just do what they say, and then everything will be fine, and people, resisted, and then the justification, as in resistance increases, then Esau's more, basically, as far as it looks, he'll be more justified to, to take action. So this is what, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Yeah. So the love's gonna wax cold out here. Everyone's just gonna be moving fucked with one another. Everyone's gonna be thinking about their own self-interest. But then what? Those that endure, they'll be saved, man. Enduring in this word, man, in this word that we received, in this truth, living by it, following the instructions, doing what needs to get done, so that looking to receive that salvation from Yahushua at the end, being joint heirs in his reward, man. because that's what we're enduring for, and that's the thing is, what we're looking at is something that's not you're not going to be able to find on the world presently, man. It's not manifested as a physical place that you can just go and sit down. You know, the kingdom of heaven is within those men, you know, the elect, Lord willing. You know, when the hopeful elect, Lord willing, I'll be of that number. Then, you know, the kingdom of heaven is also within me. And the other men is what? That's being built up. That's being, you know, compounded upon. But for it to be on the earth, that comes later. For now, all you got out here is everything's Esau's, man. It's all imprinted with him, man. The earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. But yeah, yeah, I'll leave it there. Say a praise to Yah Bashem Yash. Bashem HaKadosh. Don't want to see apostles and others great most on the roll wall. Shalom. Shalom.